Hello, it's Sunday afternoon. I thought I'll do a Sunday chat. I haven't done one for a long time. I know. Cheers. It's bloody hot out there. Christ. It's Sunday. It's bloody hot. We all know it. Clear skies, blue sky. Hot, hot, hot. So this is very much needed. So this is my I call it Cities of Gold because it's got Eldorado in and it's golden. And I don't know really why. So yeah, see, this is like I told you this last week. That was the first brew I've done since the kitchen got ripped, and I've actually gone through what's in it. I mean, I know I said it's. I've actually got my tablet. I'll say my tablet. Look at it. It's in a. Because I'm quite a numpty, I need something as thick and as... It's a child's holder, and I need a child's holder because I'm quite clumsy with things like that. So it's got usual about 3.24 malt, pale malt, which I think I'm using Marisotta. Wheat malt, 0.83, 830 grams of wheat malt. I used Torrefied for this one because I didn't just have straight wheat malt, and then 80 grams of crystal. So that's pretty much a Vacant Gesture scaled down using Harry's recipe notes, etc., that he did on the video. Then 32 grams of Challenger, which gives an IBU of 21.7. Then 50 grams. This is where it breaks from the Vacant Gesture thing. I just use the Whirlpool. Excuse me. I don't do dry hop. I don't do the Whirlpool, then dry hop, then dry hop. This is just straight old Whirlpool stuff. So I went with 50 grams of Eldorado and 50 grams of Nelson Sauvin. And this was the beast that arrived using USO 5. Look at it. It is really, really nice. You may hear the odd noise in the background, and that will be my latest brew that I did on Thursday. That I called Bojo Go, but by the time I started it, it was Bojo Gone. Which was a bonus, if only you would fucking go. So I think I'll probably stick with the Bojo Go. Which was, and again, an American pale. But I decided to play with the malts a bit here, because as much as I really like that, and I really do, I find myself after a few just feeling that I need something else, something different. Whether that's the hops, whether that's the malts, whether that's just a need for sugar, I don't know, you know, it's just like, so I'm going to try, I'm trying to, don't get me wrong, Vacant's a bloody good beer. That malt profile, excellent for trying hops, doing hops with. I've loved every minute of doing it with it. And I have to say, the Nelson Sauvin Eldorado combination is an absolute winner. Right, I'm not just drinking that for the sake of drinking it. I'm trying to, once again, come back up with the flavours. So it's almost like I would like to say fruit salad, but a sherbet fruit salad to start with. There's definitely almost a sherbety sweet touch to it. When I say sweet, like an unnatural sweetness, not the sweetness you get from fruit themselves, which is usually quite kind of quite sweet, but what a bit. It's difficult for me to describe, I suppose, that feeling. The difference between real fruit and fake fruit, really. But with almost a sherbety hint. Now I know Eldorado's meant to pack mango or maybe pineapple, and I can see that, yeah, with a touch of sherbet there, and then you get the cleanness of the Nelson Sauvin. When I say cleanness, like ooh, have you ever had oyster beer? there's an oyster beer. I think it's a Sauvignon. I might be wrong. I mean, I might be talking about red there, mightn't I? There's an oyster beer white wine that I quite like, and I can't remember what it is, but it has a clean, almost dry finish to it, and that's providing something similar on the finish. I still get the aftertaste of the mango and the fruits and the sherbetiness, but the actual finish on my palate is almost clean. So that's what I'm getting with that. A cracking beer. So what I've done with the Bojo Go, or Bojo Will He Fuck Off, yeah, 4 kilos of Maris Otter, then 200 grams of torrefied wheat. Yeah, sounds very much the same. Then this is where it differs. 200 grams of rye and 100 grams of biscuit malt. Why the fuck have I done that? Well, the idea was, now, I don't know, I really don't know how it's going to turn out. So the biscuit malt was to just add a little twist and flavour to the malt profile. And I know I don't want too much of a flavour profile, because I want this to be still a bit about the hops, which I'll come to. The rye, to dry it, I want that dry rye, yeah, that dry rye finish, because we're going with Nelson Sauvin, just purely Nelson Sauvin. Now I've taken the hop schedule for this from what Greg Hughes' book, Homebrew, the Bible, basically. So and similar sort of bittering, but the Boogoo, yeah, you know the Boogoo, it's not Bojo Boogoo. The Boogoo rating for this is about 0.88. So we're getting up there to the sort of like the balance between the bitterness and the malts there. I just pushed that one a little bit. So anyway, the Nelson Sauvin starts with a 60-minute 20-gram edition, which gave me 24.5 IBU. Excuse me. Because it's 11.3% AA, this Nelson Sauvin from Mr. Timmy Jenkins, obviously. Actually, it was competition win, so cheers, Timmy. This is then added with a 10-gram. Did I do? Oh no, I did. Sorry. I got distracted, don't I? So easily. 60-minute 20-gram, which gave me a 24.5. Then there was a 15-minute edition, which was 10 grams, which gave me 6.8 IBU. Then another 10 grams at 5 minutes, which gave me 3.6 IBU. And then a final 40 grams at Whirlpool at 75 degrees. Now, yeah, 80, I go to 75. Actually, what I tend to do is I edit about 70. I put in the app it's 75, but I tend to add it about 78. I run it for 20 minutes, but the heat's off, so it kind of drops, and it's as balanced as I think I can get it for a 20-minute edition. So the temperature starts at 78 and it drops down to about 72-ish by the time I finish. So I kind of feel that that's a bit of a balance. Well, it doesn't actually. It drops down to about 68, to be honest. But because the temperature drop is like that curve, that it drops quicker to begin. So I think that putting 75 works mathematically better for me for doing so. I mean, I could sit there at 75 if I wanted, just put the heat on, but I don't. I like that. It's that curve balance of letting it do its thing by that point, because it makes it then easy for me to transfer it at that point. Other than that, the water profile I went for is, I mean, we've never had this before, have we? See, I can't even show you the water profile. What like I wanted. Anyway, what I did, I went for an American Pale Ale water profile, which is different to the water profile for this, which is, I think is an amber ale, because this is an amber ale. how Harry went with it. He's called it an amber ale, so I've been using an amber ale water profile for this one. But so this beer that I've done today, I did it. Sorry, not today. Thursday, I did it on. That's an American Pale Ale water profile. It's a little bit different. This one I tend to add a bit of calcium chloride and a bit of, I think I had a bit of gypsum. Let me just check. Oh, calcium, yeah, calcium sulfate. A bit of calcium chloride. Oh no, sorry, calcium chloride. What am I on about? Magnesium sulfate. Like a mum. So magnesium sulfate, I add, and a touch of calcium sulfate. So added my sulfates with the amber ale. This one is touch of bicardium sulfate. Bicardium sulfate. Imagine sulfate. Bicarbonate of soda. It's really the smallest amount of bicarbonate of soda, and then the magnesium sulfate. That's pretty much it. And sulfuric. Well, it's AMS, but it's got up to 15% sulfuric. I think that's what I'm supposed to say. Is it sulfuric? I'm going to sound like a right twat, aren't I? Let me have a read. Oh, I was right. Yep, sulfuric. Maybe not the best. Maybe I should change from the sulfuric, but I will do that when I run out, basically, and I'll change. Most people are using, and I can't remember what it is, but if I look at it, I'll know. Memory's not what it was, I'll be honest. But when I'm doing it, I know what I'm doing and what I'm adding and how I should be adding it and what it looks like when I'm adding it. So they're just names otherwise. Right. So that is pretty much what I've been doing this last week of the brewing. Now, I did a quick short show that this has started and it kicked off. Now it's really slowed down. We're only on day 3, but this was the USO 5 that I used in the last brew. I kept it, like I said. I was going to do German alt beer. I know I said I was going to do a German alt beer. I think it was the Dusseldorf alt. No, it was the German alt beer, not the Dusseldorf. I was going to do the German alt beer. Well, when I looked at what I had, I was going to have to swap out so much stuff that it really wasn't going to be a German alt beer. So I was like, well, not really a fucking point to it, is there, if I'm not going to be having the stuff that I want to do it. Plus, I was reading it's quite a bitter beer, and my tastes are to lower bitterings. Now, this beer, this may come out quite bitter for me. As I say, coming up, the Bugu is 0.88, which is, I think is reasonably high for what this is. It could go a lot lower. It should, for me, I would have quite happily had it a lot lower, but I mean, yeah. If you been to BJCP, the word ratings, guidelines, then I'm pretty close to the top limit for the Bugu limit, if you know what I mean. So theirs is 1 at the top end. I can't remember what the bottom end is of the bracket, but 0.88 is getting close to that top limit for bitterness ratio. Hopefully it drops down far enough. It should do. It should get down to 0.008, and that will hopefully, with the dryness of the rye, that's the problem with the rye, will give me that feeling of I've finished it, but I want that, my mouth's ready for that next drink. I mean, don't get me wrong, this is going down very, very quickly. I have to admit, this is the 3rd so far today. Just did a walk, you see. A big fucking walk. Well, no, it wasn't a big walk. It was biggish in this weather. It was about 3.5 miles. I know it's not long. It's not hard. It wasn't hard at all. But it wasn't expected, shall I say. We were at the local laird's place, the Marquis of Normanby's castle. Yes, he was having an open day in a car boot, and we went there, myself, the missus and the youngest, and I'd had enough. I'd really had enough, and me and the little one weren't really getting on, and it was me that was the problem, not him. So I said, look, I'm going to go. Here are the car keys. You can drive home when you're ready. They wanted to stay a bit longer. I'd had enough. And so I walked home. It's about 3.5 miles. I put it on Strava, but by the time I realised to put it on Strava, I was already like 1.5 miles in. I'd already got down from the castle and was down at the nearest village. I thought, oh, I'll put it on Strava. But yeah, to track it, to see how far it is. But yeah, this was like midday, so it was blazing hot. I didn't have a drink or anything. It was quite. So that first beer when I got back, did a couple of jobs at home, and then just like, doof, that just went, because I was just like almost dehydrated. I should have some water really, because otherwise I'm going to be pissing black today. So that was number 3, just about gone. It's just coming out my pores as I'm talking because it's so hot today. So I know Big Banana asked, am I just still doing walking? I'm not really. I really haven't got the time. What with the kitchen at the minute, I've had to be here most times I'm off to oversee works and to be here to then call other people to try and get people to come to do the other jobs and stuff. I really haven't found the time. Today was probably the first decent walk I've had in a bit, and that was only 3 miles. Did it feel tough? Nah, it was fucking just a stroll. It really was. Yeah, 3 miles in an hour at 23 degrees, no water. Piece of piss, really. It was easy. Probably my head doesn't say that by the end of the day, because I'm guessing I've had to put cream and shit on here because that is probably going to be absolutely fried by tonight. Yeah. Other than that, not a lot to talk about. Although it's taken me 17 minutes to say not a great deal about not very much. So I think we'll call that quits. But I will say, this beer, I really like it. So I've been bottling some. I've cleaned out, because I've had a mass clean out. As I said in the last video, everything's had a good clean. So I did a good clean out of the eyeball. I've used it once. It's just down here, connected all up. A good rinse through and that, and then connected it up and bottled some beers and cleaned some bottles and that I had just to the side here, but bottles I've been given actually. So I need to get some beer mail out. So I'm going to build it up. This will be the beer 1 going in the geezer. Then I'll get beer 2. It'll come out of this one. Hopefully, if it's any good, because I'm happy with this one enough to send it out. That's the first thing, isn't it? Being happy to send it out. That'll be beer. This hopefully will be beer 2, and then on to the 3rd. And I am looking at getting that fucking watermelon puree, because a watermelon sour in this weather would be absolutely fantastic, wouldn't it? I mean, it's not going to happen. I'm not going to have it done in time. But August, I'm always got that positive feel that we can have more hot weather, more sunshine, more great sunny days. So I'm going to get that bloody. Even if it costs 25 quid, I'm going to get it ordered. I'm going to get it ordered today. In fact, I'm going to go after this. I'm going to sit down. I'm going to find it. I'm going to order it. I'm going to have it delivered, and then I'm going to start the brew. Oh, I've got to get Pilsner malt as well. Fuck it, I'm doing it. I'm going to get it done. I've been wanting to do this all year, and I'm getting it done, and I'm going to drink it, and I'm going to go, that's shit, or that's great. Not sure which, but then we're sending it out, I guess, along with these 2. Anyway, if you got this far, thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.